In 2009, I had the idea to buy Billionaires.com.
The Billionaires.com miniseries is your chance to get hyper-valuable and unique takes from celebrity billionaires like Mark Cuban, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, and many more.
And this guy said, "This is great, I love it, I'll give you $2.5 million.
This series gives you access to exclusive insights from in-person and audio interviews, hosted by none other than the founder of the Family Office Club, Richard C. Wilson. Get started now with an official introduction to the $1 billion plus Expert Insights miniseries and see what these nationally renowned billionaires have to say about winning and succeeding in the game of capitalism.
This guy, like of all the power players I've had in here, he's the smartest guy we've had here. No doubt.
One interesting thing I've learned is that I studied psychology after my MBA, and I've learned that the top 150 people in your life are going to decide what type of business deals you do, where you go, what social networks you're in, who you familiarize yourself with and think is like the norm in your life or the baseline or the way to act, etc. You just naturally emulate these top 150 people you spend the most time with. But most people don't consciously kind of select and choose and try to design who those 150 people will be. It's just naturally your clients and your family and maybe neighborhood friends and different business clubs you're in, etc. People you're doing deals with, your employees, etc. But I've been putting more time into thinking who are the 150 most valuable family offices and interesting people in the Family Office Club that I want to be spending time with and be more like as we grow the Family Office Club. And this next person, Dr. Bharat Sangani, is one of those top 150 people in the Family Office Club out of the 15 or 20 best deals that we see at any one point in time. Usually one or two is coming from him and his network and his team. So over the last 20 years, he's invested in real estate longer than that, but over the last 20 years, he's grown 110 employees in their core office with thousands of employees within their assets. And he's grown a $1.4 billion plus investment firm organization. And he's going to share with us today 5 insights that have came from building a $1 billion plus organization. So let's invite Dr. Bharat Sangani up to the stage.
Good afternoon, morning, whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, I thought Richard liked me, but he puts me as the last speaker before lunch. So I'm not sure what he feels about me. So I got about 15 minutes to talk about, and most likely I'm not going to finish what I'm going to say. So it's up to you to go back to him and say, you need to bring him back later on. If you like it, you do that. If you don't like it, say, why did you give him 15 minutes? But the first of all, since he put me in such a terrible position to give a talk, I'm going to say some bad things about him too. So you see all these slides? This is my production. He used to have boring slides before he met me. Now, today you saw his slides. He had all the pictures and everything. That's not his idea. That's my idea. He stole that. No, just joking about it. It's a great opportunity to be with Richard here. The first and the foremost rule I'm going to talk to everybody is something that has to be physical. So what I would like to do is I would like everybody to stand up. This is the way to make a $1 billion company, guys. Don't say, my God, he's making us wake up, stand up. Now raise both of your hands above your head. Okay, now put it down. Now get your shoulders a little bit relaxed. Now wiggle your shoulders and arms. Okay? Now I'm going to say 3 times, 1001, 1002, 1003. On 1001, I'm going to take a deep breath, and you take a deep breath with me. 1001. 1002. 1003. Please sit down. Just wanted to see everybody was awake. No, there is a deep meaning behind it. The first lesson I learned, and my dad taught me this lesson, was in investment world, relax. Always relax. There is always the next deal around the corner. Do not worry about spilled milk. Do not worry about what you lost. Do not worry about you missed Facebook, you missed Apple, you missed this and you missed that. Google. Does not matter. There's always a deal around. So that's number one. And that's why this exercise was very important, that we take breather in investment world. Second thing is very important in investment world is that everybody thinks, at 30-year thinks, oh my God, I'm so far behind because the 20-year made a lot of money. So I need to catch up. The 40-year thinks, oh my God, I need to catch up. Look at the 30-year-old guy is doing it. And that goes up and up and up. That 80-year-old says, oh my God, I'm about to die. I need to make some money real fast. But why do you want to make, you're about to die. Why do you want to make real money real fast now? It's too late, right? Listen, investment is something, it doesn't work at your time. So two things, most important. It doesn't matter whether you create $1 billion company or whether you make a $5 company or whether whatever it is you got to relax and not worry about the past. There's always a new deal around the corner. And do not try to catch up your time that you lost making mistakes. If we just do these two things, I'm telling you, we'll avoid lots of mistakes. So, first of all, I'm not sure you know enough about me. And I don't know, once I say about me, you'll wonder why the hell you're here to listen to me. So you will blame Richard to invite me. So I'm a cardiologist, a heart doctor. On my side, I do some real estate. And I have no clue. I didn't go to MBA school. I didn't go to any management school. So I have no management skills. And I'm here across the world going with Richard, talking to people about how to create billion-dollar companies. So everything I'm going to say, you are at your own risk. Take it, leave it, take me down. There is no authenticity here. Having said that, there's only one authenticity there. What I bring is experience. Huge amount of experience has gone in. And experience has gone in a couple ways. One is the time, and second, where I come from. When I landed in the United States, I had exactly $10.45 in my pocket. And from $10.45 to create a multi-billion-dollar company and to get your net worth grow from $10.45, which was also borrowed. So Excel was negative. To get to 1,000 and 10,000 and 100,000 and a million and 10 million and 100 and 100 million and 100 million plus, I haven't gotten to billion-dollar personal net worth yet, but that's why I came to the United States, and I will get there. But to cross every single landmark that I did cross, there has been a lot of experiences have amassed. And let me tell you, a lot of people say that it is getting very easy. Once you make in first money, then second money is easy, third money is easy. Partly it is true, and partly it is not. Let me tell you where it is easy. It is easy when you are doing your thing, and you became a doctor, you became an architect, you became a lawyer, you became this, you became what, okay? It's very easy that you started making $1,000, $100,000, with $200,000, maybe $1 million. At peak, as a cardiologist, I was making $1.7 million a year just by doing medicine. And it was very easy. So I was controlling, I was working, and I was doing very well. Then it was somewhat difficult when I started trying to get money and making money based on other people's expertise. So to get from $1.7 million to $10 million number, that which was what I started making with my medical business and other things, because other doctors were working for me and I was taking 7% management fee and this and that and all that kind of stuff, and I was bringing some entrepreneurial spirit in the medical world. And then I thought, you know, this is easy. I just keep doing this and we'll make $1 billion, which is the promise I made when I came to the United States, that I will be a billionaire myself. This should be very easy. Man, look, every year I'm making more and more money. How wrong was I? It's very easy when it is all you and you are creating the wealth. But there is so much. There are only 24 hours in a day, and there is so much you can do. At some point, your personal abilities to generate wealth is going to exhaust. If the ability doesn't exhaust, time will exhaust. If time doesn't exhaust, health will exhaust. If health doesn't exhaust, brain will exhaust. Something is going to exhaust. So you need to find a balance at that point. So this is how some put something together that how do you go? It's whether you put $1 billion or $100 million or whatever it is, it's irrelevant. It is when you personally fail to create a balance of health, wealth, and relationship with your personal family, friends, partners, you need to wake up that I'm not doing something right. Just remember these three things: health, wealth, and wisdom. I call it wisdom of relationship. You start messing any of these things up, you need to come visit this. So, having given that scenario, let's just start with this number one lesson. Again, as I said, these are just broad observations, experiences. This is not all encompassing way to create a $1 billion company. There are sure other people have other thoughts, and I'm not going to argue with people. These are just the thoughts that work for me. And I'll exactly show people what I mean by it. And number one, as I said, is delegating tasks and managing people who have been delegated. I have seen time and again about, and these are rough numbers. There's no science behind it. It's just my personal experience. It could be 100% wrong, or it could be 102% correct. But I believe that if you have 100 people, about general population, I don't think 90% truly want to delegate anything, because we all believe nobody does the job as good as we do. And that's probably correct. So that leaves 10 people left who know how to delegate or to delegate. How may be a questionable number or word, but to delegate. So let's say out of 100, 90 just don't know delegate. Well, forget for them a growth. If you don't delegate, I don't know how you grow. So forget growth. If you can't do that, you need to go to a school. And I have a school too, by the way, to teach that. It's called University of Health, Wealth, and Wisdom. We'll talk more about it at break or other times. But that's the first thing we need to learn. Out of the 10 people who actually can delegate work, I believe that about 2 to 3 people only know how to create accountability. It's very easy for me to walk away from here and say, you go ahead and pick up all these clothes from this table, from these tables at the end of the day. And I walk out. And I come next day morning and it's still sitting there and say, delegation doesn't work. A delegation without creating accountability is worthless. Doesn't do any good. So the first and the foremost thing, this is the office star. It tells you how in the office how to delegate and how to manage people. So delegation with accountability. I have a full method that I've created. In my company with about 2,400 employees, there is not a single person directly reports to me. And that's the structure I created. But 22 people, I have a dotted line delegation. That means I only pick the areas that I like, I want to work on, and they are delegated to these 22 people. And these 22 people are being monitored by an app called Task in a Box. And you may want to look that up, and I'll be glad to talk to you. And now what happens is, whenever I give them a task to do, that particular, by the way, I don't have any stocks in that particular app. I probably should get one. But Task in a Box, from Outlook, you can actually take an email or anything and you directly put it in Task in a Box, and it becomes a job or a task for that person to do. Now that stays perpetually there. And now you don't have to exchange emails. You can just add responses on that particular Task in a Box every time there is an update or no update. And now nobody can escape. People think, oh my God, Dr. Sangani remembers everything just perfect. I don't remember diddly thing. But I remember because Task in a Box is sitting close to me and there's no place you can hide. You do not have the ability to delete it. Only I got the ability to delete it. So it is unbelievable tool of creating a management or creating accountability. Yeah, we all think we are Superman or Superwoman now. No questions about it. As I said, one person can only do so much, and unless you are truly a genius or a really Superman, even Superman, we see all the movies, right? How many times he falls short of really performing, even though he's a superman. And why are we thinking we can do it, right? This is also very important. When this is somewhat out of it, this discussion is whether you want to create a child-parent relationship when you want to delegate, or whether you want to create a thinker. And this is where I make a difference. I want people to make a decision and then report it to me what they would do in a particular situation versus coming and asking me, what should I do? That does two things. One, because they have to, or they already decided what to do and thought of it, my ignorance never shows up. Because I say yes, because they already done the research. And second is, it avoids me to think. So it saves my time. And third of all, now I've created entrepreneurs, mini entrepreneurs in my entire company. Everybody starts thinking. A simple example is if you want to buy a desk. I don't want somebody to come and ask me or supervisor and say, can I buy this desk or can I not buy this desk? And depending upon my mood that day, I'll say yes or no. If I say yes, he's happy. If I say yes, he says, this guy is a nuthead, doesn't understand anything, cries and goes home. Child-parent relationship. But if I have trained the person that all you have to do to get a desk is you need to write me an email, say, hey, my desk broke this morning. You know I got a back problem. I cannot stand all day, so I have to have a desk. My productivity will be higher if I have a desk. Now I did research on it. We have a Knoll systems in the office, and each Knoll is $8,000 a desk. I looked up in the Office Depot, it's $250, and I thought that initially I would get $250, but everybody has Knoll. It won't look good for our prestige. So I called the Knoll people. They said, 7 years ago, we sold you this for $8,000. It's worth $14,000. I negotiated and I got it for $6,500 today. So unless I hear from you in 24 hours, I'm going to go ahead and order this desk. Now what do? I don't do anything. So the email just passes through. He orders the desk, but I now have created a thinker. I created in the company who now is people who are entrepreneurs, who truly want to take ownership and create a culture where I don't need to work. Ultimately, that's the goal. I don't want to work. I just want to advise. It's a very good position to be in, you know. Just people come and you ask questions. You say, hey, you can do that. You don't do that. This is probably, out of everything today, if you hear, if I can bring value to people, do not delegate unless you've figured out how to make person accountable. This is probably, you're hearing this from a guy with $10.45 who came to the country. Proper capitalization is very, 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 very important in doing any kind of business. Most of the businesses, the small businesses, if you take restaurants, take all the small businesses, about 80 to 92% of the small businesses fail. And you know, it's sad. First of all, it's okay if they failed. But 80 to 90% of the businesses fail where the principal has actually lost every single dollar they had and the family's money. Because what happens? You start a business, you have great ideas, you're not properly capitalized, you take everything what you have, you take your own money, and if you're a wife, you take everybody's wife's jewelry. If you have a husband, then you take everything else that person has in his beer box or wherever he saves the money. And then you go to the friends and family, you put money on the collateral as a house, and then take your 401k. I mean, this is a story for all of us, isn't it? And then we still fail. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important part, if somebody wants to create a $1 billion empire, have proper capitalization or have a limit. And that limit has to be, if I am going to dedicate $100,000, $5, $500,000, $50 million, whatever it is, at this point, if I have not achieved this thing, it will be shut down. We are not going to decide when we reach there, when we have no money, that it will be shut down. Let me tell you, an organized shutdown is a lot better than an unorganized, forced shutdown of the businesses. Please, 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 first spend as much time as you need to spend, have a proper capitalization. If you don't and you still have an entrepreneurial bug, put a limit so that you don't spend your IRA money, you don't spend your home mortgages, things like that. Second mistake. Most of us, when we become an entrepreneur, we don't pay ourselves. And guess what? Who suffers? We suffer. Our children suffer. Our wives, husbands, whatever we have, they all suffer. Can't do it. If you start a business, first put your salary in. And the business cannot support your salary, then go work for somebody. At least you will have that kind of money. You got to have your value defined, whatever the value is. And you need to be proud of your value. And you need to put exactly what your value should be. Anything less than that, you're really causing problem for the business, you're causing problem for your family, you're causing problem for a lot of things in the future is very, very dull. So I'm promising you, capitalization is very, very important. Paying yourself is very, very important. Why do people with all these big wirehouses succeed? Why when the people raise money? And all of you have seen it. When they bring you a proposal, all the principals have put a lot of salary on their name, right? Because they are still traveling first class and they're still raising money. They're still doing all these kind of things. So, and then they succeed because they don't have a stress of day-to-day living. Day-to-day living and running a business is not conducive of existence. It just does not work. You got to solve your day-to-day living if you want to get into business. Same thing. Okay, this is one thing that has really helped me. Even today, I have the same thing. When we are in real estate business, as some of you or most of you know, and we take in a deal, and then we need capital to do the thing. By and large, we will not enter into a deal that we do not have enough money that we can close the deal by ourselves. What does that do to me? I'm not dependent on my investors. No investors can come and put a gun on my head that unless you give this money or change this, you are saying $10 was to give me 1% interest, I'm going to give you $5 and give me 4% interest. Otherwise, you're not going to close this deal. That doesn't happen to me. Because you know what I'm going to say? Thank you very much, but I just don't need your money. Now, having said that, I always showed that money, I've never used it. Because that threat is there, the investors come and give me everything what I need, the way I want it. And that, just like my wife, when she got married, somewhere she thought that somebody had given her $10,000. So for 35 years I've been married. Every time she wants to buy something and I don't like it, or she sees my face going other way, she says, well, I'm going to buy it from my $10,000. Ladies and gentlemen, that $10,000 is still existent. And she has bought everything every single day from the $10,000. So I learned from her. I show the same money in the bank to my investors and I say, if you don't invest, I'm going to put this money. Guess what? After 30 years of investing, I still have that money sitting in the bank because it has worked very well. This is probably, okay, I got a few more minutes. This is probably another important thing. We are in the process of, I've done a few businesses and now I'm in the next phase of my life where I want to create a universal university, and for which it requires a full-fledged business plan. So the advisors that I have, they have created the first phase of health. Then I'm going to create wealth and then create wisdom for people who come into that university. The health phase is finished. Everything is ready to roll. And they are so anxious to roll this out. And they keep calling me every week when we have a meeting. They say, let's roll this out. Everything is ready. All my Twitters are ready. All my Facebooks are ready. All my weekly LinkedIn's are ready. All my blogs are ready. Everything, university is ready. Physical plant is ready. Everything is ready. And they say, let's do it. It's a mistake. If you have a business that you want to start, you must define exit first. If you haven't defined exit, don't enter. Not worth it. You must define an exit before you enter a business. You must have a very clear business plan. What am I going to do with this? Don't just say, I'll start this and somebody will come and somebody will do this and somebody will do that. That is where 92% of people fail. And I do not want us to be the statistics of the 92%. I want to be us of the 8%. And if we just pay a little attention to this on day one, I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, we will follow in the 8%. And I've been to Singapore. My daughter used to live here. I've been to 17 countries, and I've been to United States. And I'm telling you, I don't know about other countries, but all these rules, if applied, do work regardless of what geographic location it is. Because in Indian language, we always say the crows are all black everywhere you go. And then the same thing is human behavior. Except certain duress, we all think and behave the same regardless of where we are. Clear business plan is probably the most important part. Now, what does that mean? I can sit here tomorrow and say, I'm going to start Facebook too. And I'm going to get everybody in this room and everybody in this, and then I'm going to have an advertisement plan, and then I'm going to sell it for $1 billion. Great business plan. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your business plan. You need to have some industry expert as your mentor, as your friend. Even if you pay, you got to pay. But to get that industry expert to come and say, this will work. If you don't have that, don't start the business. Just because you thought does not mean anything to this whole world. When it comes to money, it does not matter. People will not spend $1 on you if it doesn't make sense to them. And the only way you will know when you need to be above the level of yourself. And it's hard, right? In Indian, there is a saint called Krishnamurti. He always says, observe the observer. So we need to become an observer of ourselves. Very, very difficult. How do we assess ourselves? We always are full of it, right? We always think we are the best thing that has ever happened to the world since the slice of bread. But that's not true. But somebody has to tell us that. But we are always blinded by whatever mother thinks, and mother always thinks the ugliest child is the most prettiest child around. Okay, this is probably, if people say, what value do you bring? I have a mentorship program, and people come to me, and there are different phases, different businesses, nothing matters. I'll take anybody. Doesn't have to be real estate, doesn't have to be medicine. And they say, how do you think you can help us? Let me tell you, the best mentor is somebody who tells you what not to do. If the mentor has to tell you what to do, you don't deserve it. A best mentor stops you. Just think about it. There are 10 roads to go, and one road goes to the destination. And the mentor tells you you cannot go on these 9 roads. What's going to happen? Only one thing left, right? You will end the destination. There's no question. Nobody needs to tell you how to get there. People just need to tell you what not to do. So find a mentor, and that's some of the people who have accomplished a lot of things in lives. They can probably help you the most. You must, out of all of these things, few of the points are real pointers. This is very, very important. Somebody needs to vet your business plan, and somebody must stay with you to tell you what not to do. Whatever cost you to give. Now, we usually charge 10% of the company after they've taken off, after they've gotten their all the investments back first. I don't charge $1, nothing. Everything they get, all the investment they made it back, they get a salary, and then I get 10% of the company. But that's, if you have to give 10%, 30%, 50%, whatever percent you need to give of your company, I'm telling you, this is get you there the fastest. Again, how to motivate people. The biggest thing people can do is not be clear with people who are following you. If you are not clear of that, in my case, 2,400 people in our company, what my objectives are for the company, for them, how are they going to get someplace, then it's not going to work. It needs to be very clearly defined. I'm not going into much details right now. I got 2 more minutes left, and I think I'm less than 3. So I'm going to stop at 4 regardless. So if you guys can tell Richard to bring me back, but I'm going to let you decide. This is probably very, very important. Equally important, I think. You like that? All right. So Richard didn't know about all this, okay? I taught him all these things. So we all have heard 10,000 times, diversify, diversify, diversify. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a cut-off time where diversification is not good. It's okay to diversify, but at some point it becomes a detrimental to your growth. You have to be very, very careful. How are you going to diversify? How fast? What control? What percentage? Etc. Etc. Again, it's the same thing. It's now if you are that smart, you can diversify. Okay. So I don't know how many people in this room is that good. Okay. This is one example what we have done. I got 43 seconds left. So this is what we have done in our company. So people say, you're a real estate guy. Well, how are you running a Five Guys and Burgers franchise business with you are the highest, biggest number of franchisee in the entire country, and you have a dental business and you have an emergency room business, which are operating businesses. There's too much diversification. But think about this. Create a lot of depreciation in real estate business. Lot of operating income from all these operating businesses. Somebody who doesn't have this, guess what? And I don't know what the tax rates are in the rest of the world, but in the United States, if it's an operating income and if you're in the highest tax bracket, it's 37.9% taxes. And if you're in California, New York, add another 10%. So if I want to give 50% of my money I made here in Texas, what can I do? The depreciation, which is the losses that generated here without doing anything, and if I'm an active investor, I can diversify and take the losses from here, take the income from here, put it zero, and I don't need to pay any taxes. And we have done that. I've done that for the past 20, 25 years, and that's why probably Trump doesn't want to show his tax returns because he hasn't paid any taxes. But he has not paid his taxes legally. He created a lot of depreciation losses and he offset with the income that he created. So this is what we do. I think I'm going to stop here. I know everybody is hungry. The fifth one is not important anyway. So thank you very much for listening to me.